Hello, y'all. I am Diana Brienne, and I'm coming on here at 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to give a few moments to see who jumps on, and I hope so. I hope we have a few friends here tonight. I see Jan. Welcome, Jan and Murr. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm going to go ahead and share this out, and then I will be right back with you. Okay. I hope you're all having a great day and a great evening. And let me see here where it is at. Should come up and say live. There we go. There we go. From Grandma's porch. I am out here on Grandma's porch. And so what I'm doing is I am sharing this out. So I'm sharing this out. And if you would like to share this out, that would be wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let me share this out. And it's kind of slow here. Let's see. Share out. Live stream. Jump onto Grandma's porch, and that's exactly where we're at. And there are a lot of live streams going on tonight, so I don't know if anybody will really come by or not, but I hope so because we could have some great conversation. So it is hot out here on Grandma's porch. Okay, for some reason it's not coming up there, so let me redo that one time here. We're going to do it again, see if it comes up. Okay, there it goes. There it goes live. Okay. I have a Facebook page. I have two Facebook pages, and one is called Diana Brienne's Everyday Words of Wisdom, Diana Brienne Fairchild. And you're very welcome to friend me over there or on my personal page, but I think it's filled up right now. But not the Everyday Words of Wisdom live stream from Grandma's porch. Grandma's porch, jump on now. Sounds like a bunny rabbit. Jump on now. Okay, let's see, and one more. And let's see, live stream. Okay, we're going to do live stream. Got it. Okay, I think we should be good. Okay, you know, there's a lot of live streams going on right now, and got to mute that one. All kinds of things you have to do when you do a live stream. You know, when you go live stream, especially when you go through StreamYard, which is what I do so that I can invite other people to come up. You can't invite other people to come up on your stream unless you have StreamYard or the equivalent. And so you have to kind of go between your YouTube channel and your StreamYard. And so this is being streamed out to both my Facebook and to my YouTube. And so sometimes it takes a moment or two for comments to come through. And also right now on YouTube, at this time of the night, a lot of people are doing their live streams. And it's so easy to overlap from one stream into the other. And so trying to predict when your friends are not going to be on is kind of difficult. So I think it's kind of excusable to kind of step on each other's toes a little bit and to step on each other's toes. If anyone is here, please say something in the comment, because otherwise I will not know that you are here. Okay. And so we're going to give a few moments here to see if anyone comes on. And I wanted tonight to talk about living your best life, as well as shout out channels and how I do my evenings now. I was going live at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon every single day. And then I decided that I was not going to go live both times of the day. So now I'm just coming live mainly at 10 o'clock at night, 9:45, 10 o'clock at night. And And so it just makes it a lot easier for me because I'm kind of winding my day down a little bit. And it just makes it nicer for me to come out here on grandma's porch and sit, which I always do anyhow at night. And I just thought, well, why not? I'm sitting out here anyhow. Why not just come on live out here? You know, because the center of my channel is really grandma's porch. And I grew up with grandma, and grandma was a central figure in my life. She taught me the Bible, and she was just amazing, amazing. And she had a front porch and a back porch, and we always sat on the porch. And the front porch was actually the back porch, and the back porch was actually the front porch. So technically we sat on the back porch, which was like the front porch. And so we would solve the world's problems, and we would talk about all kinds of things. And it was just such a wonderful, wonderful part of my life to be with a grandmother who, you know, she really taught me right from wrong, and she taught me about the world, and she taught me such valuable, valuable lessons growing up. And so I call it grandma's wisdom because now I'm kind of grandma. And you know, the wisdom that she taught me was so very, very, very basic. It was basic common sense wisdom. And I think most problems can be solved with common sense wisdom. And I think most of life can be lived well through common sense decisions. And I think to some degree, a lot of society has lost their common sense edge, and they've replaced it with academia, and thinking that academia makes you wise, but it really doesn't. And it's just common sense wisdom. And so, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I will talk a little bit about my day. I don't know if anyone is even on here tonight because no one's made a comment yet. Last night, my stream was so busy. And tonight, before I came on, I was looking at all the other streams up, and like all my friends are doing lives right now. So none of them are going to show up here because they're all doing, you know, they're doing their live streams. So I'm just going to kind of talk. And if someone comes on, they're welcome to come up. And if they don't come up, welcome, welcome, Billy Big Top. And I don't have my glasses on, but I think it's Auntie, or I'll put my glasses back on in a moment. But welcome, welcome. We're kind of waiting here, so I'm kind of rambling on a little bit, kind of waiting to see, you know, hopefully we'll get a few people, a few wonderful friends tonight. And like I was saying, so many people right now are focused, you know, there's so many lives going on. And I've been so unpredictable in my live streams that people really don't know yet that I come on at 10 o'clock at night. And so pretty much even once I start back in my full-time college classes in August, I'm going to try to come on most nights at 10 o'clock, 9:45. And so I want to do that. I want to come on at 9:45 at night, which is most people end their streams around 10 o'clock. Okay. Billy Big Top, good evening to you. Ashday, Paratable TV, thank you very much. Welcome to you. Welcome to you. And I'm not there yet, listening in and enjoying your chat. Thank you. Thank you. See, if you don't put a comment in the chat box, I have no clue if anyone is here, or, you know, if you've been here. So, you know, it's just like when you go to a video, a recorded video. If you don't comment, they're never going to know that you were there. So it's important to always comment, and so that the person who's made the video or whatever knows that you've been there. Okay. And yeah, so today was an interesting day. As y'all know, I'm a runner. I'm 63 years old, and I run 5 miles a day, every day, rain or shine. And about 6 months ago, I began to have a foot problem because I hurt my foot in the middle of the night. I bumped it on a piece of furniture. Long story short, I'd had problems on and off with it. So I went to the first doctor and he told me I had scar tissue and there was nothing they could do about it. But I knew that that probably wasn't right. Well, welcome, Ashley. I'm glad you're here. First time watching. I come on at 10 o'clock at night. I normally came on at 12 or 1 in the afternoon, but now it's 10 o'clock at night. And because it's going to work better for me in the bigger picture. And also, I can come out here on grandma's porch instead of in my kitchen because my family is all in the kitchen right now and I can see them all in there. They're all looking at me like I'm talking to myself. And so this is the thing is that my foot, I had hurt it. So I've been to, today was the second podiatrist and they told me what I truly thought was correct, that I have what they call plantar fasciitis. And it's just where, as you get older and when you're athletic, your muscles kind of stiffen and they contract. And so in my heel of my foot, it contracts. So they gave me these inserts. I had to pay like $50 for them. Inserts I put in my shoes. Hey, JB. Hey, hey. I had to put these inserts in my shoes and I have to wear them. And he said that they did the x-rays. He said my feet were in excellent shape. My bone structure was fantastic. He said, but it's very normal for athletic people to get this problem. So I have pain at night. I don't have pain during the day. It's when I go to bed and in the middle of the night, I get to go up to the bathroom. I can barely walk. So this is going to help me. And he said it should go away in 3 to 4 weeks, but I still run every day. I have no problems running. So I ran today. I did. So anyhow, that was my busy day going to the podiatrist, and I have great running shoes. I have those not New Bounders. What are they called? New Beyonds or something like that. I got like 6 pairs of them and they're great. They're great. And so I did that. And then I came home and I was trying to make my 5-minute videos because I have all these subjects, I have so many wisdom. How old are you? I'm under 100. Ashley, I'm 63. It's pretty well known. I'm 63 years old. 63, 6'3". But I feel 29. Okay. And so I came home and then my camera, my tripod that it sits on, it broke. So I was trying to fix it and trying to make it work. And my son went out and got me another one and it didn't work right. And so my videos were kind of disjointed today, even though the message was great. I didn't like how the camera sat on the stand when I was doing it. So I was kind of messing around with that. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Thank you. And so I did that. We are having 100-degree weather with it feels like 100% humidity. So it's very, very, very hot here. Very hot. And so I thought, well, I come on here and basically I will shout your channels out. If you want to come up at some point for a moment, I will introduce you so everybody can see you. You can talk about what your channel is. If you haven't been up here, you can come up for a moment and, just say hi and so I can see you and you can see me. So I'll put the stream in, I'll put the link in a moment. Okay. Turning 50 in a couple weeks, actually getting older, mindset is calmer. Billy, you're right. I love my age. I'm proud of my age. Mom and Jocher, welcome. I love, not there yet. Get out there every day. I'm out there. My secret, Ashley, is it's just, what? I don't really have a secret, but I will tell you the things I do. Most recently, I get an extra hour of sleep. Okay, I take 1 extra hour and I sleep. 1 second here. 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry about that. But I get an extra hour of sleep. And I think sleep is the best beauty secret of any. I drink a ton of water. I drink so much water daily. I juice green juices. I'm vegan, vegetarian. Sometimes I'll have an egg or milk or whatever, but overall, I'm vegan, vegetarian. And but if I go to someone's house and they serve meat, I will eat it very sparingly, but I will eat it. Welcome blended whiskey. Welcome, welcome. Kathy's Outdoor Adventures. Um, Welcome, welcome. I'm going to put the link in here in a moment, and I would love any of you to come up and chat with me for a couple moments, okay? And my secret is take care of you. Rest, exercise, make sure you get your sleep, drink a lot of water, choose healthy water, the right amount of water for you. Surround yourself with the right people, people that are taking care of themselves. Because if you hang out with the all you can eat buffet crowd, you're going to do that too. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Billy says I got rid of sugar. I wish I had done that years ago. Billy, what do you use in its place? Um, you're right, JB. You're right. Um, I use stevia. Stevia, from my understanding, okay, it's natural, and actually it's very alkaline. And from my I'm not a professional about any of this. This is just from what I pick up. Um, stevia is supposed to be good for you. So I mean that's what I've heard. I can't verify that, but so I use that. Billy, actually, that's great too, because you know what? You're going to find when you get rid of certain foods, unhealthy processed foods, and you go whole foods, you're going to feel like a different person. You really are. You really are. Hey, Heidi, GTV, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. So, I get up early, but I do sleep 1 extra hour. So by this time of the night, I'm kind of worn out. So you're seeing me worn out. I'm worn out tonight. I have a family. I have 3 young adult kids, one who lives down the road a little bit. My two sons live here at home. They go to college. And so everybody's home. My husband's in the kitchen. See, grandma's porch is right off the kitchen, and it's all windows. And I can see what they're doing. They're in there cooking something, and I don't know what they're cooking because I made dinner already. Then what they do, they try to get me to laugh. And although I laugh anyhow, but they try to get me to laugh. So they put their face up against the window here and make a funny face. That's what you don't see. So, yeah. So I just take care of me. 63 years old. I go to college full time. I'm studying legal classes. I want to go to law school at 63 years old. And so that's what I do. I go to college, I run, I go to the gym, I do aerobics, I paint, I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I make YouTube videos, and I do so much more. And I'm a mom and a wife of nearly 30 years. So, well, I'm going to put the stream in. If anybody would like to come up along the way and shout out their channel for a moment, would love to have you. Always respectful to each other. And that's my only rule, be respectful. Let's see, did it go? I think that's right. Okay. I think I got it. And so tonight's topic is how to live your best life. And so I would like maybe each of you, if you would, hey, Charlie girl, welcome, welcome, welcome. I would like for you to put in your best piece of wisdom for living your best life. How would you live your best life? What is one or two or three of your best pointers to live your best life? What do you think is great wisdom from you to me and how you see life and how you can live your best life? Oh, JB, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing about the comments, JB. And you know what? Nothing, listen, nothing surprises me right now with all that's going on. Nothing, nothing. I'm not worried about it though. I have a deep faith. And so, people are so much right now are looking to, who's going to win. And we don't talk politics here, of course, but I'm not worried about it. I know who, I know what my choices are, but I know that in the bigger picture, it's going to take a lot more than that to straighten things out. And so my faith is in a different place. And with a comet, who knows? Maybe it's a sign. I don't really know. I don't really know. So, living your best life. And I will go and tell you all a little bit how, I live my best life. I don't come on here and give advice. I don't give suggestions. I don't even give ideas. I just show you that I live my best life. And I can tell you how I live my best life. And I don't compare my life to anybody else's. I don't compare my family to anyone else's. I don't compare my history to anyone else's because we're all unique. We're all unique. Here comes Marie. I have not met. Oh, there she is, singing with the creator. There she
Hi.
is. Hey. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. Singing with the Creator is your channel.
Yes, and I'm Marie. Nice to see you, Sister Diana.
Thank you. Thank you. I never really knew your first name. I always just called you Singing with the Creator. And matter of fact, yesterday, I have to tell you, I prayed for your channel. And because
Oh, no problem.
remember we were on your I was on your live stream yesterday or the day before, and we were talking about, may God's divine protection come over our channels. And I said, may God's divine protection be over Singer with the Creator's channel and my channel, and everyone's channels, because we're
And
out
I
here in
thank
the
you for
public.
that.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just had a collagen shake. It's made with three kinds of different fish and and eggs. And you can't really taste it though. I mixed it with banana and peanut butter.
Oh my, was it good?
Yeah, it always makes me feel better.
Yes. Now, what are you, a vegetarian? Are you vegan? Are you keto? What is your diet like?
I'm more like keto now. I was a vegetarian and vegan for 12 years, but it doesn't work for my blood type. I get very anemic, so
Yes.
I have to eat meat.
Yes. And what are your specific things that you do, dietary wise, health wise, fitness wise, and how do you live
Oh,
your best
well,
life?
thank you for asking. I'm glad that you're interested. um, I try to eat a pretty clean diet, not a lot of preservatives. I've removed like high fructose corn syrup and sucrose and things like that out of my diet, like white sugar.
Yes.
And that was very, very hard. Um, I'm pretty sure I have an autoimmune disease called celiac disease.
Right.
And
I've heard of that. Hmm.
so I can't have any wheat products or anything with gluten in it.
Does your belly swell when you eat something like that? Is that kind of part of
Like
the problem?
like 10 times as big. um,
Hey, Levin,
that
Levin, welcome. Go ahead.
yeah, bleeding gums, constipation, rashes, uh, joint pain, lots of bad things if I eat that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I've been juicing.
mm-hmm.
Um, I bought a juice 10 years ago, a Jack LaLanne juicer.
I have one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is.
And when I used it, I felt so good, but then I ended up not using it, and then I put it in storage, and then when it sat in storage, it got like dust. And so I was like, all right, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? I'm gonna sell it on like the internet or something.
Right,
And
right.
and Holy Spirit told me, no, wash it and use it. And I was like, what? So I washed it and I used it, and I've been juicing, and this is like maybe since a month ago, and I've been juicing often, and I have so much more energy now. I do like carrots and celery, or I'll do like a whole grapefruit, and that makes a lot of juice, just one grapefruit. It's very bitter though.
Yes.
I even do the skin.
I do too. I do too. I do watermelon rind.
Yeah, me too.
And it makes great juice. Watermelon rind makes the best juice. Welcome,
It
Pedro.
really does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the silver Jack LaLanne, or do you have the white one or the black one? Which one is yours?
Mine is black, but it's the regular sized one, not the mini one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have the great big one too. I have actually three of them. I have a white one, a black one, and a silver one. And I think it's silver. And I'm going to tell you where I got them because they're very expensive. You know that they're very expensive. I got mine from what I lovingly call the junk store. And because people buy them, they never use them, and they send them over there. And I got them for $1 a piece.
What?
$1 a piece. $1 a piece.
Awesome.
And they're like $200. And yeah, they're wonderful. They're absolutely.
Yeah, I bought mine for like $100 10 years ago, and now on Amazon the same one is $160.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they're not cheap.
Wow, you look so beautiful, Diana.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I am so tired tonight because it's hot here and I ran my 5 miles in the heat today. Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. 63 years old and hanging in there, And I think the people, when they hear, I think when you want to change your life, when people say, I want to change my life, but they start with all kinds of other things. And I think the first thing I would say is change what you eat. Change what you eat if it's not healthy. Yeah. And immediately you're going to feel different because when you change what you eat, you feel different. When you get healthy.
Yeah. It's actually 60% of your health is in your digestive system. So
yes,
that's more than half.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but exercise goes hand in hand with diet. I really do believe that. I go swimming. I take walks. I don't jog as much because I don't want to mess up my knees. I have a little bit of trouble with my knees.
Yes.
When I can, I go horseback riding. I mow over half an acre about twice a week because I live in Florida and you have to mow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I do weights every day. Not like heavy weights. I just do 10-pound weights or like 5-pound weights. Every morning I'll do like stretches with them. And so I have little muscles, but they're good enough where I can lift things. So stretching is really important, especially after you turn 35, I think.
One of the things when I was at the doctor today, I don't know if you heard that about the podiatrist, because I've been having problems with my foot. Went to the podiatrist and, I'm fine. I run 5 miles a day. It's no wonder, 63, and he said, you need to stretch. So he gave me all these stretching exercises to do. And so I'm doing these stretching exercises. And in the morning when I wake up, I have to put a towel on the, around the arch of my foot and kind of pull on it. And do the exercises with that. So stretching is extremely important for all parts of our body, I believe.
Wow. I'm glad you told me that. My son's been having trouble with one of his feet because he skateboards a lot. Maybe I'll suggest that to him.
Well, I have plantar fasciitis or fasciitis, and it's like where the muscle contracts. As you get older, where my pain happens is it happens in the middle of the night when I get to go up to the bathroom and I have to limp and hobble. And what happens is the muscle contracts when you're resting. But once I get up and I'm moving around, I'm fine. And so, but he said that comes with, people who are very athletic, which I am. That's what happened. That's the downside of being a physical fitness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did a lot of running when I was younger, so I think maybe that's why my knees are more sensitive, but I did a lot of running. I was on cross country. Mm-hmm. And so I'll run sometimes, but most of the time I'll walk. And, when you walk, you can flex your muscles, like you can flex your stomach. Yeah.
Absolutely. And let me, Nelsa, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Pedro, thank you, thank you. Anyone that I have, that if someone does not comment, I can't see if anyone is here. But you are so right. And I think the fitness, your exercise, what you eat. Now, do you get enough sleep?
Yeah, and I've been working on trying to go to bed at 10, but I just had to see you. So I came to see you. And I try to get about 8 hours, sometimes 9, because I don't know why, but ever since I hit 35, I need more than 8. So um, yeah, that works for me, 10 o'clock.
Yes. Well, for me, how I tagged on the extra hour is normally I got up about 6 in the morning. Now I'm getting, by the time I get out to the computer, it's like 9 because I have to have my spirit time. I have my God time, as I call it. And
Absolutely.
people say, where do you get your wisdom? It's all God inspired. And so I come out, I have to have at least an hour in my bed with my coffee. And I do drink coffee. That's my only vice. And I drink coffee and I sit in bed and I just write my notes down as they come because I believe that the soul, I talk about this a lot, the soul, when we're sleeping, our soul connects with our with the subconscious, and the subconscious is what we dream with. When we wake up, our soul has told our subconscious, and then the subconscious is merging with the conscious. And if you don't write everything down right then, you're going to forget it. You're going to forget
You'll
everything.
lose it.
So I write every single thing down when I first wake that first hour.
Smart. That's a good idea. Yeah, because I get a lot of those thoughts too. That's actually how I know what I'm going to do the study on.
Yes.
I just kind of listen to what the Holy Spirit's telling me. And today, the Lord told me that people need to stop judging people, which He tells me this all the time. And He tells me that we need to love each other. And then I got an email from someone, and it was nasty, saying that I shouldn't have had someone on my live stream, because I did yesterday, that smoked. And it's like, I am opening my channel to everybody. That person was not rude. She smoked.
Yep.
We're not breathing the secondhand smoke. She's allowed to be there. So,
you're so right, Marie. The only rule that I have on my channel, and I talked about it on your channel yesterday or the day before, is that people have to be respectful of each other. And the moment that they're not respectful, even if they think it's funny or whatever, they're off the panel, they're out of the stream until they can come back respectful. I give them a second chance and maybe even a third, but they have to be respectful because my channel has to be a safe zone for people to come and feel safe. That's my only rule.
yeah.
If they come up here and smoke, I have no problem. Even if they, unfortunately, I don't like to bring people up drinking because you never know what they're going to say. But as long as
true,
right, that I don't, if I detect drinking or whatever, then I kind of say goodnight or whatever. But the thing about it is that less judgment, less judgment. When people are not harming someone, the only time I'm judgmental, I look at people's beliefs, and I know that we all have different beliefs, and our beliefs are different than each other. Welcome World, could you give me the key, sis? I just want to put my link. You know what, Welcome World, I'm on StreamYard, and when my mods come on, and they will come on shortly, I'm going to have them drop your links because I can't make people mods right now. I don't have the thing, and because I'm through StreamYard. So, but yes, each of you check each other's channels out because I do have fantastic people on my channel, just like you do. And people like your channel and my channel, people don't stay if they don't want to hear what we have to say. We're about a best life. We're about living our best life from a spiritual point of view. And people who don't like that don't stay. They don't come back. So the people who stay are people very much in the positive realm. Welcome, Cassandra. Welcome.
Yes, and that's the thing. YouTube is not full of positive channels. YouTube is full of a lot of negativity. So we need to keep our channels as positive as possible. So I agree with you on that.
Keep your channel clean is what I always say. Keep your channel clean. With your grandchildren, if your grandchildren saw what, when you have grandchildren, if they came back and looked at what you put up, would you be proud for them to see it? And I always
Exactly.
know that my kids jump on here. My adult kids, they may not say that they're on here, but they jump on here. And so what would my kids say? What would my kids say?
Exactly.
And I
Wow,
originally
good
started my
perspective.
channel for my kids. That was my wisdom for my kids, easy, accessible. And then it became everything else. And Christy, welcome. Welcome, Christy and Cassandra.
Hi,
Welcome,
Christy.
welcome, welcome. Anyone
Welcome.
who wants to share this out, I would love if you shared this out because that brings more people over, and that makes it really, really nice if you do that. So,
Absolutely.
what is your biggest? I know you're spiritual. Beyond the spiritual element, what would you say is your biggest piece of wisdom for living your best life?
Um, well, it would definitely be, try to surround yourself with as many positive people as you can, because some people, they are negative and you're going to have to be around them. Like if you work in a workplace where you have to be around someone negative, but
Absolutely.
yeah, you have a choice who your friends are. So like after work, who you going to hang out with? People that drag you down or people that lift you up? And so I would say go after the people that lift you up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, I talk a lot about toxic people, toxic relationships. I talk about everything. There's pretty much no topic that I don't talk about. I don't talk politics because it's divisive. I talk about it on my social media pages, but not on here.
Yeah.
And so I think that when you're dealing with toxic people in the workplace, it's different than dealing with toxic people in your home or in the neighborhood or whatever. So the way I dealt with people who were toxic behaviors is I dealt with them. You stay professional. If you stay
Yeah.
professional, you may still encounter problems with them, but you're likely to encounter less problems. It's when you cross the line into friendship at work and you're dealing with a toxic person, you are likely to
Yeah.
have problems.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to check the chicken.
Oh, that's good. What kind of chicken are you
I,
making?
I left some chicken zucchini on here. I'm just doing it in steps. I'll show you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I thought that I would do half of it now and then the rest tomorrow. That way I have time for everything.
Oh my gosh. That looks so good. I'm coming over to your
Thank,
house.
thank you. I used to have a zucchini garden
Yeah.
maybe about 15 years ago, and I
Yes.
didn't know what to do with all the zucchinis. So I invented chicken zucchini, and it's so delicious. But
Oh
I
my,
don't know if you can have it because it's got chicken and then you use like whipping cream to thicken it, and then it goes over rice. I can have a little bit of rice, so it works out.
oh, that sounds so good. So good. Welcome, Christy. Welcome, Renee. Welcome, Mom Entor. Um, and Christy said that Phantom of the Opera was really good live, like 25
Yeah.
years ago. Christy, I went to the Broadway Phantom of the Opera probably 25 years ago. Is that the one you're talking about? We were in New York City, my husband and I. We were still fairly
Oh,
new married, and they were playing Phantom of the Opera, and oh my
ooh,
gosh,
fun.
wonderful, wonderful. Yep. And Christy says to you, Marie, sprinkle some feta cheese in there. You will thank me. Some basil.
Feta cheese? Mmm, feta cheese. Yum,
Yeah.
yum.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm now y'all making me hungry. Hungry, hungry. Billy Big Top. Yep, I think I remember all the words. I was going to sing the whole thing for a live stream a cappella with no music. Well, you can come on here and sing it, Billy.
Yeah, yeah. So something you made me think about, Diana. You were saying that you write down all of the words that you know, the
Right here.
inspiration that comes to you when you
I'm
spend
going to
time alone with
scribble.
the
I'm going to
Lord.
show you something. Scribble notes. Can you see them? That's what you and because I can't see in the morning because the room is dark. And so I have to scribble the notes.
Yeah, that's the same thing when songs come to me. I have to record them immediately or they'll be gone. Sometimes they'll come back, but most of the time they won't.
Yes, you need to always have a recorder or a notebook with you. And so in
Yeah.
the car, when I'm driving, I have my recorder. When I'm running, I have my recorder. But in the morning when I'm in bed, I don't want to wake anybody, my husband up. So, well, he's usually up anyhow, but I just by habit, I write it down. And sometimes I can't read it after because it's scribble. I call it scribble notes. And
It's all scribbled.
but everybody has wisdom. People don't take the time to write their thoughts down. I don't need a
Yeah.
psychiatrist or counselor because I just write my thoughts down. And, it's amazing what it can do for you. People go pay other people to listen to them. And I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying people need to write their thoughts down.
Yeah, but you probably have a lot more than others. It's a talent that the Lord gave you. You were probably born with it, or maybe later you got it as a gift.
Well, I think it's a combination. I think, I was talking last night. I went through a bit of a traumatic childhood. And I think what I did as a protective measure in my childhood was I had to predict, I had to be very fine tuned for safety purposes. And
Yeah.
so when I was about 6, so I became extremely fine tuned to everything around me. I had to know what was going to happen next. And so I developed it at a very young age. I also wanted to live a positive life. And so at 6 years old, there were no self help books, there were no motivational books, there was no
Yeah.
nothing. And so I began to write my own notes and
Oh,
my own inspirations. And so
at 6?
at 6 years old, as soon as I could start
Wow.
writing, so I wrote scribble notes, just like I do now, the scribble notes. And at 6 years old. They were my wisdom. And so I became a person that adults would come to me with their problems at 6 and 7 years old because it was just amazing. And so God gave me that gift. And so I say
Yeah.
trauma, don't let trauma be your drama. Let trauma be your triumph. And so I never
Ooh.
was a victim. I never thought of myself. I always thought of myself as a victorious. And so my
Ooh.
plan at 6 years old was always to create this wonderful, amazing life. So I decided I wanted to move to Hollywood at 6 years old. We came from some poor southern town with a broke down car. And so what I did was I used to put cold cream on my face and I pretended it was makeup for Hollywood. And I wanted to be Hollywood ready. And so I started to write Walt Disney letters and say, would you please bring me out to Disneyland because I want to come to Hollywood? And so it was probably 15 or 10, 12 years after that I ended up in Hollywood. And so
Wow.
yeah, I lived there for quite some time. And Hollywood, Palm Springs, the whole LA area. I did the whole good side of LA. Now, when we say LA, I don't mean the bad stuff. I mean, I did the good stuff in LA. And, but it was very spiritual. My whole life has been lived spiritually. I've known things that I had no way of ever knowing. No way. There's no way that I could have known it. And I believe that it was always the Holy Spirit and it was God. And
Amen.
but we all get gifts and we all have it. We all have it. Except mine was fine tuned because mine was for safety. So I developed mine very, very early on. I can see
Wow.
people, I can tell you in person when I meet them, I can pretty much tell you where they've been in life without really having talk with them. And so I've got,
Whoa.
yeah. So it's always been there. It's always been there.
That's
What is
amazing.
your gift, Marie? I know you have a lot of gifts, but what is what? Give me one or two of your more defined gifts. Like mine is wisdom. Give me one or two of your more defined gifts.
Um, well, it's funny that you said at the age of 6 you started scribbling,
Scribble.
the wisdom that the Lord was giving you.
Mm-hmm.
I started singing operatic at the age of 5.
Wow. See, that is a gift. That was your gift. See, our gifts tend to come out early, and something pulls that gift out of us. It pulls and nurtures that gift. Why do you think that gift came out? Why do you think that gift came out?
Because nobody could shut me up. And I was actually told that, I don't even want to say it, but pretty much negative things from especially my mother, that I was pretty much, I don't even want to say the words because I don't want to say negative words on your channel.
Right.
But yeah, and so it did hold me back. And I didn't actually know that I was a good singer till I was 14, and I got baptized into a church. And the choir director said, "Did you know that you have 5 octaves?" And I said, "No, I don't even know what an octave is." And so he's like, "You should do something with this." So he started giving me, instead of giving me like an alto part or a soprano part, he would give me the solo parts of the songs. And so I would do those. I didn't know that that meant anything differently. I just knew that I had a different part, you know, because I was a teenager and I didn't know about music. And so, and then I met my husband when I was 17 and we hit it off. And then when I was about 18, my choir director came up to me. He says, "You can do something with that voice, you know, or you could just go get married." Well, I chose to get married. And and I just stopped, like at the age of 18, I just stopped singing in the churches. I just stopped doing anything. And I always heard my mom in my head telling me that I'm not good enough, you know? And I mean, she said a lot of things, but I'll just say, you know, she said I wasn't good enough. And I believed her. And
it's amazing the power of words and the power of words spoken over us, especially at an early age, because I had the power of words, but my grandma, it was my grandma that spoke the power of words, that you can do anything you want to. Oh, my old grandma that lived by the railroad tracks, in her little house, you know, she used to say on her front porch, she'd say, you can do whatever you want to do. You She always told me that, and I believed it, and still to this day I believe it. But yes,
bless her.
the power of your words. That's why I'm very careful with my words. The words that I speak. Even I don't use negatives very often in my speech. Like if I would say, instead of me saying I don't like steak, I would say I like potatoes. So I'm very careful about the word choice, to where I focus, where I shift my direction and my thoughts.
Yes, and that's something actually the Holy Spirit told me several years ago, was that man is made in the image of God and God spoke us into existence. So if we're made in his image, actually our words are very powerful and it
Yeah,
changes everything what we say.
it does. It changes everything. So you have to be careful. I always tell people, you know, I grew up in a very poor kind of environment, and it was a lot of uneducated people. There were a few educated. Now, my grandma, she was educated in life, so she was smart. But a lot of people, I remember people saying to themselves, like, oh, I'm so stupid. I never once said that to myself. I can't imagine someone saying to themselves, "Oh, I'm so stupid." You're saying such negative words. I only say positive words over myself. And so it's important to say only positive words over
I
yourself.
agree.
Self-talk must be positive. And in your relationships. And here, you know, this is what I hear in marriage. Well, we're having marital problems. I don't like to hear that, because they're focused on their problems. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't deal with your problems. I'm saying they're making their marriage a problem. Why don't they say, you know what, honey, let's, instead of like, let's work on our problems, why don't you say, honey, let's work on our great marriage? Let's work on our
Wow.
great marriage. Doesn't that
Wow.
change how you look at it? Instead of let's work on our problems, let's work on our great marriage. You're still working on your problems. You're just shifting the words and shifting them in a
True.
different direction.
Yeah. But sometimes you can't make the other person do the right thing. You can just stand back and pray for them. So,
That's right. That's right. We don't have control over other people, but we
yeah.
do have control over ourselves. And I just did a video. I haven't put it out. It's called "How to Take an Insult." So when
Yeah,
you,
that sounds good.
how do you deal with an insult? And I basically talk about, um, somebody can insult you and it doesn't reflect you. But the moment you open your mouth, and how you deal with that insult reflects you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, a lot of your videos have helped me because you've talked about toxic people and things like that, and it's helped me deal with toxic people in my own life.
Well,
So it's been great.
we all get them. And toxic people, especially when they're family members or work people that we work with, they become the most challenging because you can't get away from them. You can't get away from them, and they're very manipulative. Remember, toxic people have this all worked out. They've got this whole thing figured out. You know, they know how to manipulate. They know how far to push you, and then they bring back their niceness so that you come back in thinking that they're nice again, and you have this relationship that's just going back and forth. And so when I truly know someone's toxic, I did a video the other day called How to Love a Toxic Person. And so you choose, let's say that you choose to stay in a relationship with a toxic person. And I talked about how I do it, because I've had a few people that I chose not to leave the relationship, family's members that I chose not to leave the relationship. Or if I had to work with them, you know, always stay professional at the workplace. And in a personal relationship with a toxic person, you have to move back to the point where you feel safe and you feel that you can deal in the relationship without being diminished. And you just have to keep moving backwards. And sometimes you have to move so far backwards you have no relationship. But sometimes you can still have a semblance of a relationship. But they have to realize you're not going to come forward until their behavior is permanently changed. And there's two kinds of change: real change and fake change. Real change is authentic because they want to change. Fake change is only changing because the circumstances make them temporarily change.
Wow, that's good. So powerful. So many words of wisdom there. Thank you.
But we all deal, you know, I try to cover every topic and I try to be inclusive to everyone, because this channel is not just about people that go to church. This channel is not just for people who like to cook or people who like wisdom. This is for everybody. Matter of fact, I did a video called Fishing. I think I told you this. I did one on fishing, called Fishing in Different Ponds in Life. Well, it turned out YouTube promoted it as a fishing channel. And so I had all these fishing people come over on a video.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so how did I start singing again? Well, I'm hearing this in my head that I'm not good enough, but at about 24, I heard the Holy Spirit telling me it's time to go back and sing. And I wasn't able to sleep very well for about 2 years because I wasn't listening. I was like, I don't want to listen to this, you know? But I wanted a good night's sleep. So I decided I would go to the church and talk to the head of the music department and give him my phone number and say, if you ever need someone to back you up or whatever, here's my phone number. So I went home and I slept well for 2 months. Every night I went to bed and I slept. I slept like a brick, okay? And then one day, it was before Christmas, the not choir director, the man that was in charge of the music, said, we don't have anybody for Christmas. Everybody's out of town. So would you like to come? And I was like, oh, I have to do this. So I did it. And it turned out so well. And people were so encouraging toward me that I just kept singing. Wherever churches wanted me to sing, I would just sing there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
That was your gift.
Yeah. So I prayed and I was like, all right, Lord, I'm going to dedicate my voice to you till I turn 40. Like anywhere you tell me to sing, I'm going to sing there. And oh, he took me up on that. So he asked me to do YouTube way back then. And so I tried, but I'm not very well. Back then I wasn't computer literate. I'm much better now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't.
What was that? How many years ago was that?
Back when YouTube started, I believe it was 2004 or 5, around there.
Oh,
well, maybe
I didn't even know YouTube existed then.
2006, maybe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I didn't really take it seriously. Like I didn't really make a channel for him that I would sing. And, but I tried. But any church that called me, I would sing. I just do whatever, go wherever. And it was great because people were like, you know what, you really can sing. Well, one day this guy walked into the church. He wasn't even part of that church. And he pulled the guy that was in charge of the music me, my husband, and someone else into a room, and he said, God told me that Marie Hansen is going to sing in front of thousands and thousands upon thousands of people, and that her husband's going to hold her back.
Wow.
Yeah. And that did happen. That did happen. But this is the thing. Back in 2015, we moved to Colorado, and that was totally the Lord. Like, I'm not even going to tell that story because it's way too long.
Yes.
But we had a power outage because in Colorado they have lots of blizzards. And it knocked our power out, and so I had to spend like the whole afternoon getting wood to heat up the house. We're talking about 4,050 square feet. You have to like heat this up, right? So I had to go find the wood in the snow, and by the time I came back in, the power came back on, of course, right? And and I heard the Lord tell me, it's time for you to make my channel.
Wow. And was that Singing with the Creator? Because your channel is called Singing with the Creator.
Singing for the Creator. Yes, the Lord told me this is the name of your channel. And I said, all right, Lord, I'm going to go ahead and type it in there and see if there's any other Singing for the Creators. And sure enough, there were not. So I said, okay, we're going to be called that, Lord. And my daughter had she was 10. She had a little picture that she drew of me where I'm a princess and there's a crown on my head and I'm wearing a pink dress. So I made that my icon.
Wow. So you are one of the first YouTubers.
Well, that was 2015, but 2006, I do believe I started some kind of channel, but I lost track of it. But I got on there. I got out of the church hymn book. I think I sang Rock of Ages or something like that, and a cappella, and I didn't know how to hold the camera, so it was like this.
Yes.
Up my nose. And my hair was all over the place. And I posted it. And I got insulted immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And so I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is so terrible. And I've grown a lot since then. But 5 months later, I came back to Florida and I was going to one church, but the Lord said, go to another church. I want you to go over there. And he sent somebody to make me go to the other church. And this lady walked up to me and she said, whatever is holding you back from doing what God is asking you to do, stop it. Believe God. He's got this. And then she held out her arms. And so I hugged her and then I just started crying.
Do you like the old time hymns better than the new time hymns, or do you like the new music better?
My favorite music is when I'm praying and the Lord gives me a song.
Ah, okay. Do you have a song?
I love all music.
Do you have a song?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a song for us, or a couple song for us? Can you sing?
I can sing part of it, one that we're working on right now. My daughter's trying to find the chords. But
I would love to hear it.
This is my second song, and I'm not going to sing the whole thing, but it basically goes like this. My life is on a roller coaster, sometimes up and sometimes down. Why can't I stay on the straight and narrow that leads right home to you? Oh, birds sing the songs that you want them to sing. They sing out the tunes you plant in their minds. But I am a human and I ask you why. I just can't obey. So stubborn am I. That's just the first verse.
Oh my gosh, that is so you have the most gorgeous voice. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
You. Thank you, sis.
No music, no nothing, just you. Oh my gosh. Oh, can you sing one more? Can you sing something else? I mean, Rock of Ages or whatever. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Just so beautiful.
Okay. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is just beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you,
I
sister.
grew up I grew up with those old time songs. And so I'm not into the new, the rock and roll ones that are real loud, but I love those old songs. And the song that you first sang, oh my gosh, you wrote that?
Yeah, I have two
No.
songs released already. My children and I made them.
Oh
So what
my
had happened? Let me finish the story. Okay,
gosh.
so after the lady told me that, I was like, okay, I know the Lord sent that lady to help me heal.
Yes.
So I went home and I started doing more a cappella church hymns. And as I'm doing it, the Lord starts giving me more and more songs. He's just like, every single day, there's all these songs coming to my head, like not complete songs, but sometimes yes. And so when it was a complete song, I posted it. And so I have like 93 songs now on the original thing, like an original playlist on my channel. And so right now we have, what is it? I Want to Be Where You Are. That's the first one that we released. And then one that we released about a week ago called See You in the Morning. And we're going to release another one coming up this week called I Am Yours. And we're working on two more. So, and I wasn't able to do that because I just didn't believe in myself. But God kept telling me, I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. And he kept saying, do this next, do this next. Well, one day the Lord said, time to go back to piano lessons because I'm not good at playing instruments. And he was like, go to piano lessons. I said, Lord, I'm in my late 30s. I'm 40 now, but I'm in my late 30s learning how to play the piano at that age. And Lord's like, do it. And so, I'm sorry?
You're never too old to learn.
You are right. And I'm learning this. And part of what you said, it was like, it really is a wake up call because it's like, you know what? We're alive. God has given us health. We should do everything we can.
Absolutely. Embrace your gifts, embrace your talents, and remember your talents and your gifts unfold throughout your life. And I mean, I didn't start painting until I was almost 45 and to become an artist. And now I paint amazing paintings. I'd never picked up a brush in my life, not even a class. And, I just started one day and never stopped.
I want
And
to see one.
oh my gosh, I've shown him so many times. But I do landscapes and I just started painting. I taught myself. I've never had a lesson.
Wow.
And I mean, I have amazing paintings, but God brought that out of me not until that stage of my life. And so you never know what challenge I went back to college at age 62, as you know. And so I'm 63 now and I plan on going to law.
When was your birthday?
June 2nd. June 2nd. Yeah.
Oh, so you just turned 63.
Yeah. And so I'm going to college.
Happy belated.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to college full time. So you're never too old. You're never too old to begin fresh and new. Never. I don't care when I'm 80. I'll probably be starting new things.
But you look my age or even younger.
You look 20 years younger than you are. So,
Yeah, you look very young.
Thank you. Thank you. And so what is your direction for your life? What direction do you, I know we're all led by the Spirit and that can change whatever the Spirit tells you, but what do you see as your direction?
I really don't know what he has planned for me, but what I've been praying is, what do you want me to do? And every time I pray, he says, music, do music. So I've been doing music every single day.
Wonders. I'm drinking coffee with a straw.
No problem. So a miracle happened. I decided that I would take God up on the offer and find a piano teacher. And so we found a piano teacher, and my kids, I let them do piano for 4 years. I homeschooled them. So they had, for 4 years, piano lessons.
Now, I homeschooled, just to let you know. I did.
Wonderful.
I was a mom. Mm-hmm. All three of my, yeah.
All three?
Mm-hmm. Now, 2 of them went back to public school at one point, but I homeschooled all 3.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I did it up into the 8th grade, and one just graduated from high school. He did at-home courses,
Yes.
but through the public school. And
Right.
then
That's
my
what we did
daughter,
at the end. We did that at the end. It's the one where it's through the public school system, but it's done at home. Right.
yes.
But originally I homeschooled, and then we merged over to that program, which still requires you to be there. So I still call it homeschooling.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was more intense when it was, one-on-one, me with the kids till they were 8th grade. But the biggest reward was when my son took the college PERT test. He was a freshman, and he passed. So he walked up to me and he said, "Mom, everything I learned was from you."
Yeah.
That was so rewarding.
Yes. And that makes all the difference. Being a parent, I have to say, is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And yet it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yes.
So it's the most rewarding and the most hard. And even to this day, it's hard because I have 3 young adult kids. And, you never know what's going to come up in their life. But I've given them a great foundation. They all grew up in the church, and they've had a great foundation. Fortunately, none of them have drank, smoked, or taken drugs. None of the 3. They have never done any of that. So I've been very, very fortunate. Now, have they had their own issues? Of course they have. You get, when teenagers turn teenagers,
Yeah.
you're not a parent till you've raised a teenager. Okay. You don't officially become a parent till you've raised a teenager. A teenager is a total different ball of wax. They're not the cute little kid anymore.
Let's just say we're in our prayer closet more.
Yeah, we're in our, well, gosh, I spent a lot of time in my prayer closet. More to hide than anything, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So we took piano. Well, I took piano, and they had already taken 4 years, and so I was going to take 2 years, and I told them this, and so the piano teacher would come to our house. Before, we used to go to the piano teacher. Now the piano teacher, a new piano teacher, was coming to our house, and she wasn't even 18 yet, and my kids are like, what, 13? One was 13 and the other one was 10 or something like that, or I don't remember exactly what it was. So they were close to her age enough where they're like, who's this? And so I told the children, I said, I'm going to take piano lessons. You are welcome to also take piano lessons along with me. And they're like, okay. And so after about 2 weeks, they both joined me. They really wanted to do it. And so they took 2 more years on top of that. And it was a miracle because after about the 2-year mark, my daughter started playing piano, like really playing piano, like any song you could think of, she could do it. I was like, wow. And then within the next 2 weeks, my son started playing guitar. No, we didn't take guitar classes. I'm like, what is going on here? I said, did you look on Google for the chords? He said, no, I just hear it in my head. And then he started picking up different instruments and playing them. And I was like, whoa. And it just felt like the Holy Spirit just like fell on my children, and they were just like full of all of these talents.
Yes.
And then my son started to use computer programs and mix instruments together. And so like all of this came together. So now we're able to produce our own music.
Wow. And so where do you want to take this? Of course, like we said, it's wherever the Spirit leads, but where do you see it going?
I really don't know. I'm totally going on faith here. All of my provisions, my children and I, they're taken care of. Sometimes people donate to my channel, so we're able to like upgrade our speakers or things like that. It's very nice. Like every time we need to do something, God provides.
Yes.
But I want to spread the gospel. I want to bring positivity in the world, kind of like how you want to bring positivity and love and life into the world. That's me. I want to do that too. And so if I'm supposed to do that through my music, that's great. If it doesn't make money, that's okay. I'm doing what I want to do, which is bring positivity into the world.
Yes.
So
Welcome, Peter. And Christy says, "Don't scare me." Lots of laughs. Teenagers. Christy's just about to have a 10 and a 12-year-old. Birthdays around the corner for them.
Yep.
Yeah, teenagers are really different, but you know what? I have to say that overall, I loved my kids. It's teenagers, and actually, I'm enjoying my kids more now than I ever have. And
Wow.
they're all in their early 20s. They're all in their early 20s. Yeah, and I'm enjoying them more than ever. More than ever.
So were you 40 when you started having your
Yeah.
children?
Yep. Yeah. 40 in my 40s I was raising small children, babies, and then in my 50s my kids were still small. They were not big, they weren't, I mean, they were not even teenagers in my early 50s. So I mean, my life was busy, but I think that kept me young. My husband's younger than me. We've been married almost 30 years, and he's 5 years younger, so I married a younger man.
You robbed the cradle.
I robbed the cradle.
Well, I can see why. You look so young.
Thank you. Well, when I met him, I looked younger than he did, and people still think he looks older than me in person, although he's very handsome. I have a very handsome husband, but yeah, you never know where God is going to lead. And, I live my life at 63 on faith. And, I really do. It's all about faith, and it's all about the spirit. And my
Mhm.
biggest, I think, people say, well, you can be happy without God. And to each his own.
Mm.
For me, God is my central, in the morning, I listen for what I need to know. I listen to what my spirit tells me if about people. I can if I sense something and I may not, everything looks right, but something tells me different, I listen to it. I
Yeah.
balance it with common sense and an intellect, but I listen closely to it because that spirit is telling you something that you cannot see. Your soul often can see what your mind cannot. And that's what I
Wow.
always say. Your soul can see what your mind cannot.
Yeah.
And people discount
That's
the
awesome.
soul. People don't even know they have a soul. They're like, oh, I got a mind, I got a body. What about your soul? We're a soul walking around. In my belief, we're a soul walking around in human form. We've got the soul. And I believe the soul is not confined to the body. People think, okay, the soul is enclosed in our body. Our body is a vehicle for the soul. But I've known things so far away from me that were going on that it was my soul knew it, even though,
Wow.
so your soul is attached to your body in this earthly time, but it expands from your body, I believe. That's what I believe. And so,
Yeah. Wow.
yet I believe when you hear God, God speaks to your soul if you're willing to listen. And then your soul will speak to your mind, and that's why my early morning hours are so important, because my soul has been busy speaking with the spirit, and then it speaks to my mind, and that's where I get all my
Yeah.
insight.
There's definitely something there. You really make me think about that, Sister Diana. Um, you can have a brain or a mind, and you can have a body. You can have actual physical, tangible matter. But if you don't have a spirit, then it's not going to be alive. It's not, that body's not going to move around,
That's
you
right.
know?
And there's many forces in our universe, in our world, beyond our universe. And we have to remember, people don't believe in bad, but there is good and there is bad, in my opinion. And you can meet people who are attached to the bad, and you can see that in who they are. And you know people who are attached to the good. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And when
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I think I told you this, or maybe I told this in one of my live streams, but when people are agitated, I think I told you this. When people are agitated, it's their spirit, their soul is wrestling with their mind. Their mind wants to do one
Yeah.
thing, and their soul is saying, hey, this isn't right. You're doing something that's wrong. and they're in conflict. The conflict is between the soul and the mind. Okay.
Actually, that's the bridge of the song that I was singing you earlier.
Oh, really?
It
Wow.
it's from the scripture of Romans 7,
Yes.
verse 15, 16, 17. Around there, it talks about how our mind and our spirit man are at war with each other.
Yes. Yes. We are a soul. And when I look at other people, I look at them as a soul. What is your soul? And how do you take care of your soul? Are you filling your soul with all this garbage? People watch,
Yeah.
all this garbage. They listen to garbage music. I mean, if you listen to some of the words in the music, you go, oh my gosh. And then the stuff that they watch on TV, the stuff that they're reading, the stuff, it's so much garbage. And what
It's
are
so
you
true.
putting in your soul? What are you putting in your body? What are you putting in your mind? But look at what you're putting in your soul. I think a lot of people's problems today, a lot of unhappiness is because their soul is so far out of alignment. They're so out of alignment.
Yeah. It's been bombarded with garbage.
Garbage that they don't even know it's garbage. They don't even know. They think, oh, this is normal. They've normalized garbage, and
Yeah.
they've normalized
Yeah.
it.
When I was first praying for God to change me, I was maybe 21 or 22, and I just had my son. And I was asking the Holy Spirit to change me. And in my church, you didn't really talk about the Holy Spirit too much. I mean, they did, but not really. And people would say, "You're weird. How do you know? How do you know you're talking to the Holy Spirit? Maybe you're talking to the devil." They'd say stuff like that. But I was like, "No, I want to know who you are, Lord, and I want to know what you want me to know." And the first thing the Holy Spirit told me was, "Turn off the TV."
The TV. I mean, I grew up in the generation where comedy was real comedy. You had I Love Lucy, you had, all these wonderful shows. And then in the early 70s came the adult themes put into comedy form. And people were laughing at very serious subjects
Yeah.
that should have never been laughed at. And that was the beginning of trash TV. And now there's there was shows like Little House on the Prairie were
Oh
wonderful.
yeah.
There were so many amazing shows out there. Touched by an Angel, we've seen all 9 seasons, every show of Touched by the Angel. That was our favorite show. My kids watched it every night because we had it all on DVD. We've seen every season. We've seen every season of Little House on the Prairie. And we really didn't like season 9 because it really was kind of almost a spin-off of it. They didn't have Michael Landon there that much and everything. But the first 8 seasons were fantastic. They were. And I grew up on old-time soap operas. I grew up on old-time cartoons when you had Daffy Duck and then they changed all the cartoons. They were no longer
Yeah.
cartoons. But my children actually grew up on the Trinity Broadcasting Network cartoons on Saturday.
Oh,
Remember the Trinity Broadcast Network?
yeah.
They grew up on, because they do Saturday morning cartoons. And so my children grew up on those cartoons. They didn't get the regular cartoons. They got the good cartoons.
That's awesome. I love
Parents
it.
don't have control. Parents today let their kids watch anything. They let 6-year-old kids watch these adult themed comedy shows.
Yeah.
And it's just so much filth on TV. I don't watch TV. Matter of fact, we're canceling cable again because none of us watch TV. I haven't seen TV in months. I do keep up with the news, but only briefly, just to stay on top of it. But I don't watch TV.
Yeah, so I didn't at that moment back then, I didn't take TV completely out. Like I would watch movies. Every now and then I'd watch something, but it was at that point that I decided no more soap operas because I would watch the soap operas. I would watch Days of Our Lives, Passions. I don't remember the other one, but
Well, there's another world. I grew up on soap operas because we had one TV channel and you watched whatever was on there. Days of Our Lives, and I actually had a small part on Days of Our Lives many years ago, and that was a miracle.
really,
Yeah, I would have to. I don't want to give out names because these are big names, but I had met somebody, and I said, the brother of someone famous, very famous. It was a very famous person. And I said, oh, I want to be on, I would love to visit Days of Our Lives. And so before I knew it, this big, huge star calls me up at work and
Oh,
says,
wow.
would you like to be on Days of Our Lives? And I said, oh my God, yes. Yeah. He said, be at the Gower Studios tomorrow morning, because it was at the old Gower Studios back then. They did an old Gower Studio in Hollywood, and now it's in Burbank again. But it was at the old Gower Studios. And there I was in my little car going to the Gower Studios. And I went into the, small part. But, nonetheless, I was there. So you never know where the Holy Spirit's going to guide you. But yes, I gave up soap operas too. When they canceled all my children, I gave it up because I love Susan Lucci, because she's like 72 years old and she's rocking. She's got it going on. She's so beautiful. And she was my role model because she's about 10 years older than me. And she's 73 now, I think, 72, 73. And so, I look at women who are older than me that look fabulous. And she does. So when they canceled all my children, I quit watching soap operas.
Yeah, maybe that was the other one, All My Children. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I was addicted. And I was watching it, and I was a drama queen. I was crying all the time, and my husband's like, "Who are you?" And so, it was the first thing I had to give up. So I gave that up, and the rest of the movies and everything that I gave up, maybe a couple years ago. It's just I didn't desire it anymore. I didn't feel like I wanted to. So
when you give it up, sometimes there's an adjustment period, but when you give something up, God replaces it with something else.
Yeah.
And what I listen to is the only thing, if I listen to anything, I have a couple very, very tremendous wisdom teachers. I talked about last night, I had no self-help books and no motivational books. Then when I turned 20, they started coming out with all these motivational self-help inspiration books. And I absorbed every single one that was on the market at the time for the next 20 years. Every single one. You name the book, I read it. And I had them lined up in my house. And but then the only thing I listen to, because I listen to my God-inspired wisdom. I go back and read my notes. I watch my videos if I need, but I do have a couple wisdom teachers that come on every night, just like I come on video and you come on. This one wisdom teacher comes on 3 hours a night, and I can't sit there because I give concentrated wisdom. He gives where you have to sit there for 3 hours to get 5 minutes. But he's tremendous. And so when I have time, I play him in the background, because that's the only thing I listen to is the wisdom, God ordained wisdom.
Yeah. Did you ever go to school to be a therapist or psychologist or anything like that?
No. I'm not going to say what my careers were, but they were very good careers. I've had numerous careers, and no, but I always had this gift. I always had this gift from the beginning, from the earliest years. And I think it was originally, like I said, designed to save me, to protect me. And then it expanded outward. And
go
ahead.
I'm sorry, what I meant by that, not that, I totally get that, but I mean, because you would have made a great one,
Thank you. Well, I approach everything from a spiritual point of view, though. See, and most therapists approach things from a mental, emotional. I approach it from a spiritual view, because I think much unhappiness is spiritual unhappiness. And so people go and they try to find answers, but it's much deeper than that. It's much deeper. And so I'm not saying that there are not emotional problems or whatever kind of problems, but I am saying that most problems, I feel, have a spiritual root. And you've got to address the spiritual root. And most therapists in that do not address it from a spiritual point of view. So if I were to go to a therapist, I would have to make sure that they had deep, deep spiritual roots.
Absolutely.
Because we're not just a mind. We are a body and we're a soul. And they neglect the soul. A lot of focus is on the body now. A tremendous amount of focus is on the mind, but there's not much focus on the soul.
True. Wow, I didn't even think about all these things. I'm so glad I asked.
Yeah, people are broken, I think, because of their souls. A lot of times, their souls are in conflict. And when, like I said, when you see agitation, I believe it's the soul and the mind at conflict. They're not working in harmony, because when you're working in harmony, you're not in conflict. Conflict and agitation, because agitation is essentially conflict. And when you're conflicted, something's out of order. When you're unhappy, you have to identify what is making me unhappy. And often, what people identify as making them unhappy really is not what's making them unhappy. And so you have to find out what's making you unhappy. And it's just so important to get to the root of it. But I think so much is spiritual.
Yeah, I agree with that, because what I usually say about that is, um, if someone is angry at you, it's probably, they don't have it right with God. It's between them and God.
Right.
So that
Right.
kind of matches what I'm thinking too.
Right, right. And so I think that for me, and I never give advice. So I only talk from my perspective and how I see the world and how I live life. And so for me, the first part of, if I'm dealing with unhappiness, I have to find, is my spirit in alignment? Is my soul in alignment? And other people can create unhappiness in who we are. Remember, joy comes from God, happiness comes from what we generate. So that joy and happiness are very different. Joy is consistent. You can be joyful and yet unhappy. Okay, joy comes from God. It's consistent, but happiness is something we create that has its ups and downs. Joy does not have its ups and downs. Happiness has its ups and downs. And
Yeah,
so
so joy is more like contentment, being content in any situation.
joy, right, because it's through God. That's
Yeah.
a spiritual thing, as long as we're connected. Now, joy can waver if we're not connected. But happiness is something totally different. I can be unhappy, and if someone is going through something, a family member, that can make me unhappy. But I still I have my joy underneath. My joy is
Yeah.
still there, even though I'm unhappy about the situation.
Yeah, wow. You're covering that really well. This is great. Yeah. So, but I guess to finish up the story, um, now my children and we're making songs together, and we already had a bond, but like our bond is even stronger now. Like we're always spending so much time writing
Thank you, Peter.
chords.
Thank you, Peter, for coming. Peter said he had to go. And thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
And 1111, you are so right. A psychologist is there to give you another perspective. That's right. They're dealing with the mind. And that is so important that we have psychologists and people who do that. I'm just talking that so often people neglect the soul, is all I'm saying. We are a combination. Yeah. Our mind is very important to deal with. We have to deal with that part. And 1111 said that. And that is so right. And yet, but they forget the soul. Everyone forgets the soul in this whole matter. And that's what we're just saying. We have to add the soul back into the mind and the body and everything else. You were saying.
Oh, just to end the story, out of all of this, trusting God and having faith and doing what he said, the biggest blessing would be that my children and I are so bonded. Like my son is 18, my daughter's 15, and yes, we do everything together. It's just so amazing to me.
Yes. Oh, me too with my kids. My kids call me every 5 minutes. My son went out today and he must have called me 5 times. Well, he had to do an errand for me, but he calls me like 5 times while he's out. And my kids, I'm very close with my kids. And yet I still let my kids grow up. I let them make their own decisions based on what I've taught them. They have to learn their own lessons, and hopefully they will use what I've taught them to be their best self that they know how. They've had my wisdom, and now they've got to determine how their life is going to look. And I just believe that, I pray. Remember, your prayers are never lost. My grandmother, who prayed prayers for me all throughout my life. Those prayers still exist today. They're still being honored long after she passed. And so
Wow.
when a mother prays over her children or over her family or for someone else, or anyone prays for someone else, those prayers are never lost. They're theirs. They're out
Amen.
there. They're out
Oh,
there.
that's so beautiful.
And I believe in praying. I pray every day. I pray in the morning, and it's who I am. I'm not telling people that they need to pray to be happy. I'm not saying anything. I don't tell people what to do, and I don't give advice. I'm just telling you how I live my life. And I pray. I pray every day. I pray for
Me
people.
too.
I'm very forgiving, but I'm very tough. I'm a very, very tough. Someone said, she's the softest person I know, but don't mess with her. And you know what? It's true. Because if someone is crossing a line, I let them know. I'm very direct. You're crossing the line. Stop it. I don't sit there and take it. I just say, you're crossing the line. Stop it. So, but I'm very fair. I give people second chances, third chances. Sometimes you have to quit giving chances until they're ready. I often say a second chance should not be thrown away when a person is not ready to be given a second chance. Giving a person a second chance before they're ready may ruin their chance at getting a second chance again. And so you've got to be careful when you're handing out second chances. I believe
So
in
true.
second chances and I believe in third chances, but you've got to be careful not to give them out too soon. Same way with opportunities. You don't want to give someone opportunity who's going to throw it away. And a lot of
Yeah,
people throw their opportunities away, and you don't want to do that.
that's so true. Yeah. Wow, that's great.
I have notebook. I have hundreds. Oh my gosh, if you knew how many wisdom notes, scribble notes I've had throughout the years. I have notebook after notebook in my attic everywhere. I mean, it could fill a whole room of wisdom notes. And I did write 7 books. Now
Oh,
I took them all down. They were all online books. And I took them all down because I was negotiating with a hardback publisher. That's my direction, is with that. And you really are not to have, from my understanding, not to have your books up online. They don't want that. There has to be a period
oh,
of time, um, unless you write something fresh and new, completely different. But I have all these notes. And so I just decided just to compile my notes. I don't really have to write a book. I don't have to write a new book. All I have to do is hand them my notes.
so
They're
so where do we get your books? Can we still get your books?
No, not right now. Not right now.
Okay.
They were out for a couple years, and now they're not. They're not out there now. So hopefully they'll be out there again. But I kind of feel I'm waiting for God to inspire me when I'm ready to write, to begin writing again. And I have my notes. I don't really have to write. I just have to put them all together again. Yeah. But they're my wisdom
Okay.
notes. My kids are inheriting all of my wisdom notes from all my life, from
Woohoo.
my whole life. And, I've gone through so many things in life. And, I was, when I was about in my 20s, now I've been with my husband about 30 years. And I was married I got married in my 20s and briefly. It was a brief marriage in my LA days. And, it was one day, my husband at that time walked in, and I knew something was up, but he had been married before. And he took off, and I chased his car because I didn't know what was going on. When I ran behind his car, not chased his car with another car, but I ran behind him. I was like, where are you going? Where are you going? And then of course we went back together like 10 times after that. And then I broke it off, completely broke it off. But I was very young at the time. So I learned a lot. Your experiences will teach you much of life and the pain of a breakup.
Yeah.
When people come to me and said, well, my husband cheated on me, or my wife cheated on me, or we're breaking up, or going through a divorce, so many things, like taking care of an elderly parent. I took care of my mother for 3 years who was dying of Parkinson's. I understand
Oh,
what it's like to be a caregiver. I understand what it's like to have a health crisis. I had one 10 years
oh,
ago. And so I understand what it's like to be a mom. I understand what it's like to raise kids. So you can't really relate to people on their level unless you've been through it.
that's true.
You can have
Wow. So
compassion, but you can't relate. You don't know what they're going through unless you've been through it.
when did your mother pass away?
She passed away about 11 years ago. I took care of her for I was wonderful to my mother. I loved my mother. I adored my mother. And I brought her with me, but her body had, by the time she got to me, she was in diapers. And I took care of her. My children were small. I was
Oh,
homeschooling.
wow.
And my mother was severe Parkinson's and beginning of ALS. Her body just deteriorated. Yeah, it was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible a time for her. And she went from the robust woman that I knew to just a person you didn't recognize. And it was a terrible time. But I took wonderful care of her all the way through. I held her hand all the way through.
Wow.
So I know
So
what it is. Yeah.
you had your mother at home and small children at home.
And homeschooling and moving across country from Texas back to Georgia. And my mother had
What?
California insurance because she was living out there, and no place would, hospitals wouldn't accept her in Georgia. And she was falling down because she couldn't stand up for very long. And I was taking care of her, and I would take the 3 kids who I was homeschooling, and we would go when she was in the hospital. We would sit on her hospital bed. And I mean, it was really, I've been, so the challenges that you go through are put there so that you have understanding and compassion. So I understand what it's like to be a caregiver. I understand like what it's like to have a health crisis. I understand what it's like to grow up traumatized as a child. I understand what it's like to have somebody walk out on you. And I understand all that. And so, but I also understand what it's like to be happy and to love and to be loved and to have fun. And I lived my dreams, my 20s. Oh my gosh, my LA days. Woohoo. I had more boyfriends than any girl deserved in her life, and any girl could ever have. I don't recommend it. And I had a great time. But I will tell you, I've had great times and I've had difficult times, and they both taught me different lessons.
Wow. Well, yeah, you've really lived.
But everybody has their unique story. Don't ever feel intimidated by someone else's story, good or bad. A lot of times people come on and they'll tell their trauma story, and you go, well, my trauma story is not as bad as theirs. They've got it worse, but you
Yeah.
never compare your story, your journey, your gifts to anyone else's, because you have your own unique story, your own unique divine assignment, your own divine purpose, your own problems. We're all given these to make us who we are. And our
Amen.
problems help shape us like a lump of clay. It helps shape us.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I
So,
enjoyed.
oh, thank you. Oh, Maria, it's wonderful. You've been my special guest tonight. You have been amazing and wonderful. And, I want to tell you, most people will watch this in replay because YouTube does not shout this out till 24 hours after it has been made. And then everybody comes over thinking it's live. So they'll try to comment, realizing then it's not live, but they watch it. That's when they watch it. Once again, you are singing with or singing for the creator or singing with the creator?
For.
Singing for the creator, Creator. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so anyone who wants to subscribe to Marie's channel, Singing for the Creator, and it's an amazing channel. She does daily Bible studies, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And you are amazing. And remember, your
Thank you.
gifts are there, given by God. Your gifts are not meant to be hidden. And you never have to worry what your future is going to look like when you're within your divine purpose, because God will unfold them in perfect timing. He will not unfold them a moment before they're ready. So you say, well, I don't know what direction my life is taking with my singing. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. All you need to do is act upon your gift, and the rest will take care of itself.
Thank you. And I have to say this, Diana, I'm just thankful for every morning that I wake up and I'm breathing and I have health and I can do things. I'm just thankful for every day that I have.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. Me too. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy you came up here tonight. You have been absolutely amazing and wonderful. And you have been, I loved your singing. Your singing is out of this world. And
Thank you.
your testimony and your just, you brought such light to my channel tonight. And I thank you so very, very much. You brought out a different side of my channel. Some nights it's shout
Mhm.
outs. Some nights people come on here and they tell their trauma stories, and but you just brought such light to my channel tonight. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you for having me. And it was a pleasure being here. Every minute was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I wish
Okay,
you a
God
good
bless
night.
you.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you.
Let me have a
Mm,
quick prayer for your channel.
thank you. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for growing this channel and giving her strength, giving Diana strength and courage and just everything that she has in her to do this, that you're the one that's empowering her, and I thank you so much for that. And I ask that you would help her to get to 10K and beyond, and she would reach many, many people in this world, and people will be lifted up out of their depression, out of their anxiety, out of their bad situations through watching her videos. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Oh, praise God. Thank you, Marie. Much love. Thank you. Bye bye.
And hugs.
Hugs.
Okay. You take care. All right, bye.
Oh, Marie is so wonderful. Singing for the Creator. My goodness, what a wonderful, powerful testimony. I don't want to call it an interview because it wasn't an interview. We were chatting, but it was so powerful and so wonderful. I don't have any mods here tonight, otherwise, we would be dropping links. And so I'm going to have to let my mods know when I'm on next so that we can drop links. And, I hope you're all checking out each other's channels. It's very easy to do. You just cut and paste the name, open up another tab, put it in the search bar in YouTube, and you will go to the person's channel. And so I hope you have been doing that as well, because I have so many amazing channels. Um, Oh, Marie, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to have you. Thank you so very, very, very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. So, would anyone else like to come up before I go tonight? I'm going to put the link in, and you can just come up for a moment and shout out your channel if you would like. Um, I never know what I'm going to do. Someone called me the fried chicken channel because I'm a little bit of everything. And some nights I come on and do shout outs. Other times we have like 6 people on the panel. I just never know. I never know what we're going to do when we come up here. And, sometimes I get couple hundred on, total. And then sometimes I just get a couple. But even when I just get a couple people on, it's wonderful because then we have more intimate conversations. Sometimes people come up, we get to see each other face to face. And I love that. I love it. And this is grandma's porch out here. This really is my grandma's porch, the one you see in all my 5-minute videos. And I love grandma's porch. I have a front porch, which is even more beautiful, but I usually don't do my videos out there. I do them in here. Up front, it looks like the Goldilocks and the three bears are coming up the driveway because that's what it looks like. It's just wonderful. And in here, and then normally I do my 5-minute videos in the kitchen, and then I walk out here to show grandma's porch because that's kind of the center. That's my icon, I guess it is. And then I go back in, and I do a different topic every day. Today I did, I can't remember what I did today. I don't even remember let me see what I had down here. Oh, be the inspiration you want to find. I did that one. Be the inspiration. Instead of seeking out other people to inspire you, begin to inspire yourself first. And maybe tomorrow I'll do it. It's a soul thing. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget that. It's a soul thing. Let me write that one down here. Scribble note. It's a soul thing. Don't forget your soul. And I'm not discounting don't deal with your mind. I think we have to deal with our mind, our body, and finances and relationships. But don't forget your soul. Don't forget your soul. Remember, you're a soul too. and in my belief that we're a soul. And if I feel in conflict, it's usually I feel my soul telling me one thing and my mind telling me another. And I always want to do what's right for my life because in the bigger picture, I know that if I do what's right, it's probably going to work out. But if I do what's wrong, it may feel good at the moment, but it's probably not going to work out in the future. And so yeah. Um, Let me get my glasses. I have like 12 or 20 pairs of glasses, and I have them all over the house. Um, Thanks a bunch, Christy says. God bless. I need to get to bed. Christy, you know what? Thank you so much. I need to get to bed too. And I know we're all probably going to bed unless you're in a different part of the world, time zone. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who came on here tonight. I mean, it's been wonderful. Marie was just, oh my God, what a light that she has shown here. Just such a light. And even though I didn't have any mods on here to drop links, probably tomorrow night I'll have mods on here. So hopefully I'll be on here. And every night is different. Every night is different up here. You don't know what you're going to get or what we're going to talk about. I mean, it's like my videos. It's all different and it's all wonderful. So I hope you all come back. And I thank everyone in the stream that was here that did not come up. You were welcome to come up. I thank all of you. You've been amazing. And for those who watch this in replay, which is most people, because most people don't see this because, like I said, YouTube doesn't push this out. When I first come on, they push it out after. And so, I have to, so people see this in replay. And, yeah, from Grandma's porch, I may come from Grandma, I may do a couple of these because it's hot out here. I may do hot and humid. I may do from Grandma's parlor. Grandma has a parlor, and I've got this 110-year-old armoire with all my pottery in it, beautiful armoire. And I've got a 100-year-old grandma sofa in my parlor, and it's 100 years old. 100 years old. And you've all probably seen it if you've watched enough of my videos. And I love antiques. So maybe I'll do it from in there tomorrow night. I might, either there or out here. I don't know. But normally I do them in my kitchen, but my family's all home at night and I want to do my live streams at night. So well, if no one's going to come up, I thank all of you and may God bless you all. And so I'm going to close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So from my house to your house, may God bless you. May God watch over you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Good night and bye-bye.